I go, I'll think
You'd
of
been
something.
playing a lot of poker.
Yeah.
Where do you go to Vegas to do that?
No, I play here in LA.
Okay.
At
Hollywood
the
Park
house,
or-
Hollywood Park.
Yeah,
in
okay.
Commerce. So I said, I can think of something. I can handle it, you know. Because for like Letterman or something like that, it's real hard. You have to be really on the top of your game, as you know.
Right, yeah.
Because he's real funny. But The View, it's not that tough, you know, to keep up with.
Right, sure.
Star Jones or whatever, whoever they are. So
Barbara Walters there, though.
Yeah,
She's tough to keep up with, right? I don't know what that means.
So I'm like, I'll be fine. That's what I kept telling the guy. So the guy's like, but that's their job, you know. So this guy would always have ideas. He would phone me with ideas. He'd go,
This goes on for weeks before the appearance, right?
Weeks.
It's almost like it becomes like work.
It is. Talking to that guy is harder than talking to the host, you know?
Yeah.
And he's excited, and it's his job, so I don't want to. So he'd be like, what if he came out in a red wig? I'm like, what the fuck? Why would I do that, right? He's like, the gals have been teasing Barbara about, you know, tinging her hair. I'm like, no, but then it'll look like my idea, and then I got a red wig on, and, you know.
Right,
I have
yeah.
to take
You
it
don't
off.
want to take part in their
So,
silliness.
Just over and over, you know, every time. And he goes, well, do you have anything? I go, no, I can't think, but I'll think of something, you know. So he says, anyways, one of the ones he phones me, he goes, I'll tell you what you do, man. He goes, you come out. He goes, you're talking to the gals, and all of a sudden, your cell phone rings, right? He goes, it's in the middle of the show. Like, he's really excited, right? He goes, you answer the cell phone. You go, excuse me, ladies. He goes, we're not going to tell them about it. And the cell phone rings. He goes, excuse me, ladies. It's your agent, Morty. You know, he had this name.
Right. Yeah.
He goes, so you're like, Morty, you can't call me here. I'm on The View. You know, I'm on TV.
Right.
What do you mean you have an offer for me? You know, and I had this crazy Jewish accent in the story. You know, what do you mean? I can't do it. I'm on The View. So I'm like, yeah. I didn't want to, you know, you don't want to hurt people's feelings, you know. So I'm like, no, that one's, yeah, it sounds pretty good, but maybe I'll think of something else, you know.
Right.
He was so excited.
Yeah.
So anyways, this is getting to be a long story.
No, it's fine. You know, we
So-
can actually stay on the air as long as we want.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I get there. So anyways, I'm really late, right? Because I had a big hand at this poker game.
Right.
So
You show up right before you got to go on the air.
Show up. You know, so I'm going. I go. I got the story about Bill Cosby. I'll do that. I know how to do that story. I did it before on Letterman, and it'll be fine. So I go in. And I tell the guy, listen, man, I do this story about Letterman. You know? So I walk out. You know. Now, unbeknownst to me, as I was walking out, this guy had muttered something. I hadn't slept for like 3 days. And it's just the phone call, you know. So I go, oh, yeah. You know. I didn't know what he was talking about, but he had slipped like a cell phone. He put a cell phone in my pocket.
Oh.
So anyways, I got out there. And then...
He'd slipped a cell phone in your pocket.
Yeah, thinking I was in for this
Okay.
gag, right?
And it's all set to
But
ring.
I forgot.
You forgot about it.
I forgot about
okay.
it. Okay. So,
And all hell breaks loose,
now, so
obviously.
I go out to the, so I go to the View, and those 4 bags are sitting there. You know?
Oh, come on.
So, no, ladies,
Yeah.
women, you know.
Yeah.
It's not politically correct to say bag.
No.
But
Was
you know, you
Rosie
got Michael
wasn't there.
Richards is saying the N-word. I
Yeah.
can't say the B word.
No, you can say that, absolutely.
I want to talk later about now they have the F word for fag, which is really strange.
Yeah.
But
The guy from Grey's Anatomy got in trouble for
yeah,
saying...
the N guy, the N-word guy.
The F word.
No, but he was an N-word guy, wasn't he?
I can't remember.
That was the irony.
Everybody's
No, he was African American.
Everybody's going nuts out
He
there.
was African American.
Yeah. Said the F word. He said
It'd be
the F
funny if
word.
you were an African American. You know, if you were a racist, you would not say African American. Maybe you'd say the A word,
What's the A word?
the African American.
Oh, yeah.
But so I go on the
yeah.
View.
Yeah.
So this is what had happened to me a month previously. This was whenever the first election was, the Bush,
Right.
Bush against
Gore.
Al Gore.
Yeah.
The first time, right? I know nothing about politics,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so... But
This
what
is
happened-
right after the election?
This is before the election.
Okay.
Before the first election. So what happened was I got a call from this guy, Ben Stein. You know that guy?
Sure, yeah.
So he said, how'd you like to meet George Bush? He's running for president, you know? So I go, holy fuck, that would be cool, you know? Meet a guy running for president. Maybe later he'll become president, and I'll be his buddy, because this is how naive I was, because I knew him like 2 months before he became president.
Right.
So in Hollywood, you know, obviously very liberal, right? So if so Gore showed up, and it was like Barbara Streisand and every giant star in Hollywood, right? So when Bush plane came down, literally it was me and Ben Stein. We were the celebrities.
Right.
So it was really lame. And then when George Bush came out with his wife, he said to her, "See, I told you he'd come," about me.
Right.
They were expecting maybe it would just be Ben Stein. They were really happy that two celebrities showed up.
Right, sure.
You know, and real peripheral celebrities. So, but it was cool because everyone hates George Bush and stuff. So I got to go on his airplane and talk to him. I talked to the guy for an hour.
Got to hang out with him.
Yeah. So it was really cool. You know, I don't know anything about politics, but it's cool to meet the guy that's going to be might be the president. You know?
Yeah.
So, anyways,
What did you talk to Bush about on his plane?
I talked to him about, well, I don't know shit about politics, but he didn't know much either.
He hadn't really been elected yet.
No, he hadn't been elected and everything, and I told him some jokes, and he sometimes he'd go like, "There's mics or something like that."
Yeah.
It's not a very interesting story.
Right. That's cool.
But when see, it's a many.
This
layered,
guy's been just sitting here listening to
I
the
know.
whole story.
That's why I
we
said
haven't
it's a
even
long
introduced
story.
ourselves to him yet. What's your name?
My name's David.
Where are you?
I'm just outside Montreal.
Montreal.
Okanagan.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so you're about to walk out.
Yeah, so I go on The View, right?
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to I said, I'll talk about the Bill Cosby story, you know? So anyways, the lady from The View goes, "Take a look at this picture." And show a picture of me standing beside presidential nominee George Bush. And then they're like,
You're on The
"What?"
View now.
Yeah, I'm on The View. And they're like, "What's going on here?" That's what the lady says to me, one of the ladies, right? Like it was a fucking
Which
picture
was it? Star
of,
Jones, Meredith Vieira?
who's the fat black one?
Well, Star Jones left the show, though. She's
There was
not
a
on there
fat African American.
Star
lady.
Jones, I think. Yeah.
That was the
She
lady.
lost a lot of weight later, too.
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah.
It was big. There was a big brouhaha over that.
Was there?
Yeah, but yeah. So she asked you that.
So she's like, "What's going on here?" Right? And it's just a picture of me with a guy running for the president. But the way they said it, it was like that picture of Kurt Waldheim with Hitler in the fucking woods, right? I'm like, I don't know. Like, what's wrong with this, right? So just to be crazy, kind of like, and just because they got under my skin, I don't know nothing about politics or nothing. I said, well, it's better than that guy that's in there now. That guy murdered a guy, Bill Clinton, right?
Right.
And then they're like, what? And I go, they go, what? So I go, he murdered a guy, remember? Some guy killed him because I remember somebody died.
Right, sure, yeah. Someone who had
suicide
committed
or something.
suicide. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And I heard a crazy conspiracy thing that they killed him.
So you
I'm
just
like,
start, yeah.
I'm like, don't you remember that? You know, but I'm acting like everybody knows it. I'm just acting like a retard. And then Barbara Walter goes, you're walking a pretty thin line, mister. And I'm like, I thought it was a matter of public record. Barbara, you're a newswoman. Back me up, you know. It kept going on, and it was like, fucking, you know. And I remember she kept going like, "You're one piece of work, mister." Like getting really.
Really, they're really
crazy
taking you
angry.
seriously, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
remembering
like
that, you know,
I'm a comedian
the
that
jokes
doesn't know
on
shit,
Weekend Update were.
So I just did it to be like
So,
stupid, and then so there's just like, you know, the audience like confused, you know, and the ladies are all angry. All of a sudden, I hear like coming out of the thing like ding, ding, like it's a fucking fire alarm or something. What the fuck is that? And then I remember it's my phone, you know, my cell phone, this joke.
Oh, yeah.
The producer backstage saw that everything was going to hell and decided to fix it, you know. So like I go, I go, Morty, man, this is a bad time to call because all the ladies hate me now and stuff like that, you know. And Barbara Walters goes, "What the hell are you doing?" Like she just.
right.
I go, nah, I know I'm a little scared. I go, I don't know. The guy backstage, he told me that it would be funny if I pretended my agent Morty called. And then there was like about 5 seconds of silence. And Barbara Walters said, "We'll be right back." And then they gave me the boot.
That is on YouTube right now? That's on YouTube right now, apparently, Bill. Yeah. Have you queued it up?
No, I don't have it yet.
Oh, you don't have it? We should try to find that. Oh, my, that's uncomfortable, huh? Have you been asked back?
No.
No?
I thought it was fun.
Oh, yeah, no, that's awesome. You love those uncomfortable moments, though, right?
I like it, yeah. Like with stand-up, if I bomb, I really, really like that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Do you ever get like that?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Every night here. Yeah, but it doesn't. But you like the idea of getting when the audience gets angry at a joke, say?